Hi everyone, my name is Caitlin Owens and I'm from Halifax, Nova Scotia. I have a double major in French and History from Hacettepe University. I am currently enrolled in the Bachelor of Education program at STFX and I'm currently going into my final year. So I decided to get into the teaching profession because I had moments during my schooling of self-doubt and I really didn't want that for other people. I want to give my students the tools that they need in order to feel confident in their abilities. So one of the main goals in teaching is creating lifelong learners. But how is this possible if we have students who doubt their own abilities? No amount of saying you're smart is going to convince them that they are, unless they truly believe it themselves. So you might be asking yourself, how can we convince students that they are capable and that they are smart? And I really don't think that there's an easy answer to this question. I think it's something that we have to constantly be thinking about and striving towards. So this brings me to the reason for my blog. This summer I have the honor of working for Dr. Jennifer Mitton-Kükner as her research assistant at STFX, and I'll be exploring metacognition in relation to classroom teaching in rural areas, focusing mainly on junior high and high school. For those of you who are unaware, metacognition is described as thinking about thinking, but I honestly feel like this definition is too broad, and in order to truly understand it, we need to explore it further. So one article that I read is by Hussein Oz. I'm pretty sure I'm getting that, not pronouncing that correctly, but his definition is metacognitive process enhances learning by guiding students' thinking and by helping them follow a wise course of action as they think through a problem, make decisions, or attempt to understand a situation or text. So Anderson, who is cited in the article that I read, believes that there are 5 steps to a metacognition process. So step 1, preparing and planning for learning. So this just means an individual will form a mindset of a task, determine learning goals, and access their prior knowledge, and use self-questioning. So some examples of self-questioning is what background knowledge will help with this task, the order that you need to do in order to complete the task, etc. So step 2 is selecting and using learning strategies. So this one's fairly straightforward. An individual will select strategies that they believe will help them complete a task. Some examples of these strategies would be using relevant clues and information, memory techniques, etc. So step 3, monitoring strategy use. So this just means that an individual will evaluate whether or not that the strategy that they have chosen is working effectively to complete this task. And if it isn't, then they'll select a different strategy that might be better suited. Step 4, orchestrating various strategies. So this strategy is connected to step 3. Through this, an individual will recognize whether they need to use one or more strategies at the same time. So the author of this article gives the example of becoming stuck on a word, which I'm sure we've all come across this at one point in our lives. I know I have. In order to understand the meaning of the word, an individual may use relevant clues and word analysis. So this brings me to my final step, step 5, evaluating strategy, use, and learning. So the final step in completing a task is reflecting. An individual will reflect whether they completed the task effectively. So I have a quote here. One asks him/herself how well that she/he did, what alternatives would have changed the outcome, and whether the knowledge is transferable. So I think I'm going to leave that here for now. I hope you have a basic understanding of what metacognition is. Throughout the summer, I will be reading peer-reviewed sources to learn different interpretations of metacognition and whether metacognition can help students in their learning process. I will be creating weekly blogs both video and written, just to give a different variety. Let you know what I've read and learned. So let me know what you think. If you have any questions or if you need any clarifications, just let me know. Bye for now.